Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Voyage and the Return author interview series. My name is Nicolette Halladay. I am the CEO and founder of Inspired Hearts Publishing, and I'm so excited today to have Jamie Warham joining me, one of the contributors of the Voyage and the Return. Sorry, and today we're just going to be talking about the book. We're going to be talking about Jamie's chapter, what she shared, the work that she is doing in the world. So, welcome, Jamie.
Hi, Nicolette. Thank you for
Hi.
having me.
Thank you for being here. It's so great to have you. So Jamie she's worked in Ascension Realms for over a decade. She's a certified angel intuitive practitioner, a shamanic and
The Sui.
Usui, Reiki master teacher, psychic reading life coach, and sound healing practitioner. Wow, Jamie, welcome.
It's a little bit of a mouthful. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when I'm like, okay, like stumbling through it, but so excited to kind of dig into what some of those things mean in actual practice, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I'd love for you to just do a little introduction, share a little bit about yourself, and yeah, say hello.
Yeah. Well, as Nicolette mentioned, I'm into a lot of different areas: angel magic, working with the angels, energy healing. Um, Pretty much anybody who knows me knows that I talk ad nauseum about energy and the effects of energy and how we can raise it and change, the dynamic of the life we're living, you know,
Mm.
getting out of lower states and into higher states and things like that. Um, I don't know if we should hop into that part where I started or
Yeah,
where.
well, let's pause here because I think that absolutely, and a lot of your chapter is really about kind of your progression, your curiosity, and entering into this world, and some of the challenges that you had to face during this progression, and kind of how you get to being in this point right here, right? So,
Yeah.
share just a little bit about your chapter and what you wrote.
Okay. Well, my chapter is titled 555. And as you purchase the book, you'll see a little bit more about why that is so. Basically, my chapter starts off with a very emotionally crushing situation of my mother passing and how that launched me into the path that I'm in now. I was a much different person back then. Most of my longtime friends can attest to the change there. I
Mm,
was lost. I was doing what society had kind of programmed what the right things to do were, college education, good job, all these things. But not really, rather, I was suppressing who I was. I didn't
mm,
even know who I was. I was what I was supposed to be, you know? And really, I knew inside there was another part of me that was a bit softer, a bit more sensitive, but it wasn't really supported in my atmosphere.
mhm,
So, upon that tragedy, launched a few more tragedies, and me getting introduced to some very significant individuals, one being Mary Jo of Angels Talk. She kind of took me under her wing right away and helped me through that, even though I was kicking and screaming, the first 6 months or so, really going through the mental states of losing a parent unexpectedly, and at this point kind of feeling a bit like an orphan. I didn't really have a relationship with my father.
mhm.
um, I didn't know him at all, so for me I kind of felt like an orphan in that moment, kind of floating and trying to rediscover my purpose and things like that. So she helped me along with that, introduced me to the angels,
Mm,
and from there we worked weekly on video chats and Skype chats, and I really started integrating and connecting with the angels. I discovered that I had some abilities, um, and well, gifts rather. And as I teach, we all have gifts, but
mm,
it's whether we practice and work on them and implement them, then they become abilities, things that we can do something with.
Yeah.
Um,
So a few things I just want to touch on, because really your chapter, yes, it really started, that tipping point was when your mother passed, but then shortly after dealing with the loss of your sister and, trying to support her children during that process, your nephews, and just the whole, all of the things that loss can bring.
mhm.
And I think, so you said something so valuable is, and I think I'd love for the anyone watching this to really listen and receive this, that support will show up for you when you most need it. Mentors, friendships, different opportunities, in both the seen and the unseen, right? So do you want to just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I do call it my grand reset in the book. There was a big um, kind of shedding of relationships and connections that I had more clarity and did not serve me. I really had clarity in that moment that I was a fixer, people pleaser, and I just, that was it. It was kind of a reset. But making that energetic space allowed these other individuals to show up and take space
Mm,
and show a different side of themselves and or introduce me to individuals that could help me on this path. It was great, but you really have to make the space. And we talk about this in my soul coaching classes and sessions that you do. If you make the space and trust the universe will bring to you into your energy field more like-minded individuals that can help you where you are right now and going further.
it's
The
really true,
the
and I think
Yeah.
sometimes, I know we've had this conversation because we've both kind of experienced a bit of that loss in different ways and not consciously choosing to make the space,
Yes.
um, but on some level, right,
Mhm.
either the space was made for us, but definitely, being open to holding that space for the right people to come in, right?
Yeah. And I find so many times with my students over the years that they end up finding me because of some major change, a
Mm.
reset, you know, a lifelong career is just out the door, or a marriage, a divorce, if you will, some major shift. And now they're kind of at, well, what do I do now? Um, I'm getting these dreams, I'm feeling these, urges to check out some spiritual books and things. And so, what I talk about in angel class is they'll come as a whisper, then as a nudge, and then as a brick over the head. So
That's
unfortunately,
true.
a lot of us get a brick over the head.
Sometimes we
And
are the stubborn ones that are like,
yeah,
"No, we have to do it our way. No, we're gonna keep pressing through."
exactly.
So
And then they're
it's
like, all right, we need
yeah.
to, stop this, projection here.
So if
So
you can be
yeah,
courageous enough to hear the whisper, then you might be able to
absolutely.
avoid, what I call is like the big 4, like death, destruction, divorce, diagnosis,
Yeah.
any of those things that can really just rock our world. So,
Because if
um,
we have a path that, a divine path, and something that we're really supposed to do,
mm,
touch other lives, help people in this way, or be a role model, or anything like that. The universe sees these things and they're like, hey, we really need you to get with the program here. We have some things that you're
we've been
supposed to
telling
be
you.
doing,
We've
you
been
know?
giving you the nudge. We've been giving you like, now we're just gonna have to, like, pummel you with it so
Yeah.
you'll hear it and receive it and have no other choice because,
Yeah.
there's all this space now for you to get to fill up in too. So, so how let's see, what is the question I'm trying to what do you hope people take away from your chapter, and the book in its entirety?
Yeah. So I do believe the opportunity for the book was divinely sent,
Mm,
even down to the chapter and some of the other intricacies of the numbers five. Uh, and it was a calling, and I felt like it was a message from my mother to say, you know what, Jamie, there's a little bit more healing to go through here. And I really started out with trying to heal myself a bit more with telling the story in summary of, how things went down. And I ended up, I think what she was nudging me on was the healing of my sister, because while it started out as a way for me to express my story, it's a very personal reason that I started doing this. It wasn't so much for marketing and things like that. It was really, just to heal myself. I just needed to
Yeah.
get it out,
Yeah.
and I tell my students, and so I needed to walk my walk.
Mm.
But I know what my mother was conveying to me, because it really helped me heal through my sister. It ended up being about my sister, really,
Mm.
emotionally. The majority of it ended up being about, but that's not what I intended. But you know what? Things work
They
out
don't
the way
always
they work
come
out.
right. So
So,
your chapter, like you alluded to, is 555, a story of faith, resilience, and change. What is the significance of 555 to you, and how did it really play out in this time of your life and what you shared in your chapter?
yeah. Well, 555 in angel numbers basically says, hold on to your seatbelts. You're about to go through a major change.
Mhm.
And so the night of my mother's passing beforehand, I was at Universal Studios and I received a receipt, and it had $5.55 on the receipt. And I was like, oh, look, I got an angel number. I was so excited. Little did I know, a couple hours later, I get a phone call that my mother unexpectedly passed away.
Wow.
So from that point forward, there's been a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction with 555. And this was also going to put a brighter spin on it as
Mhm.
well. But it's about major change. And, it is something I'm working through. And I'm really so much better than I was when I started out with change, being a Libra, and, you know, uh, kind of a fixer as I was growing up, and undoing that mentality and that emotional response, and, embracing more self-worth without the fixing and all of that stuff. Um, it led me to that point where I can say 555 now, and I don't get, so nervous about it.
You can
Don't know.
really own it,
Change is about
right?
to
You can
happen.
own that energy and understand that there's,
Can
kind
be
of
a good thing,
duality. There's duality within,
like a
with it
book.
and everything, but yeah. Yes, yes. So how does your chapter Sure. Let's back up a little bit. Talk to us about um, kind of the work that you do with your clients and who you love to work with. Let's start there. And then the second part of that question is, how does your chapter really relate and connect to the work that you're doing in the world?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, I'm a Reiki master healer and teacher. I like to be introduced to individuals that are ready for a bit of change. So we do soul coaching, which is kind of like spiritual life coaching.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of techniques that are used sometimes in traditional therapy, but also we bring in the spiritual and the universe's connection, and we get into meditation. So it brings a holistic twist on it, which I
Mhm.
think is honestly, my perspective, more encompassing,
Yeah,
and really bringing your soul forward, and finding your purpose and raising
absolutely.
that energy.
Yeah.
I like to introduce individuals to the angelic realms if they aren't familiar, and how easy it is to work with them and
Mhm.
really make some big changes. They're probably the easiest beings, if you will, to work with. They're ready to roll, to work with us, and there's no great ceremonial aspect that you have to go through to connect with them. They become like best friends, and working with things, and so, I like doing that. And I do some readings as well.
Mhm.
We find out as students continue to work with me, we do less card readings per se, because I get downloads. If you're familiar with that,
Yeah.
clairaudience and claircognizance downloads. And it's the same as what that we oftentimes we get that through the healing session. It'll come through, so it's more than just a healing session. Really, you're getting a reading as well.
You're
Uh,
receiving all the
Yes,
wisdom,
there's
the
5 different
energetic,
modalities.
but also any kind of like verbalized communication that you need for like some clarity. So, Um, so who is like a great fit for someone who's working with you? Maybe where are they at in their life? And I know you kind of said, they had maybe been through someone who had maybe been through a major transformation or some kind of tumultuous event, but what are there other characteristics of people that you're just like, these are the people I love to work with and they will have the best outcomes with working with me?
Yeah, I feel like individuals who felt the calling and aren't quite sure what to do with it. I
Mm,
love to work with them. I like to give them a foundation to start with, a nice safe foundation if they're going to start working with the other side, and then they can sprout from there.
yeah.
We can go into more um, magical aspects, or they can just take that and go with it. But kind of give them a safe space, a meditation practice, just a foundation at the very
Mm.
least, a
Just really
solid
like a dabble, like just people who are like just living life, doing things, and have this curiosity about spirituality and are really interested in starting to crack open that door and start looking into what it means to live in a you know, spiritual
Yeah. I
way.
mean, I'll work with obviously anyone at any level, but I really enjoy watching those first
Mhm.
moments when they get their first, you know, encounter in a meditation, or they start to see the colors and they're so excited and filled with possibility. And that's a gift for me, really.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, one of our co-authors, Stephanie, is one of your clients, and I'm going to be
Yes.
interviewing her today. And
Yeah,
brought her into this project, and I think
definitely.
she was one of those that was really curious, knew there was more, and you really opened up some healing for her. So yeah,
Yeah. And we continue on our journey here, and it's been really fun. It's been pretty cool
that's
for
awesome.
sure.
And so, um, let's see. Um, I had a question brewing and then I lost it. Oh, what was your favorite part about participating in this collaboration?
The connections and the support and
Hmm.
working with you and the team. I mean, I had no idea that's how it was going to go. This is my first time doing this sort of thing. And I
Yeah.
figured I'd submit, the technicalities, send it over. But no, there are calls and support, and everybody's so friendly. And we're now on each other, checking out each other's podcasts and our businesses and things like that. And it's a little community now. And that was really a pleasant, surprise in that
Hmm.
aspect there.
I love that. I think it's so funny because so many people say it, and I'll say a lot of times, it's something you really have to experience, and it sounds so cliche, but it's like, no, it's hard to like put into words, kind of some of the relationships that develop in these kinds of
Mhm.
containers when really so many incredible, dynamic women are coming together to set an intention and success around a project,
Mhm.
to share their own personal story of transformation. You get a lot of like-minded and hearted people who are, there's just amazing connections that are being made. So I love that part of it too. It's always I always know that's going to be part of the magic in it, and it always surprises me at the depths of how far that goes sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
um,
there was always an email with some new funds. I'm like, "Oh, there's more to do. Okay. Okay, this is fun. All right, we're gonna meet then and we're gonna learn this." And
yeah.
completely different than I thought it was gonna be. I love it. It's great.
I
I
love
encourage
that.
everybody to
Thank
take
you so
advantage
much.
of it.
Yeah, thank you so much. That makes me so happy. And yes, it's not, there's so much going on behind the scenes. And really, we're trying to prepare our authors to take so much advantage of this opportunity and the visibility, and just the opportunities that can come
Mhm.
from it. So we give a lot of resources that aren't always kind of seen on the outside, I guess, so to speak. So tell me, what projects are you most excited about that you're working on right now, and how can people connect with you and maybe even work with you if they're feeling inclined?
Yeah. Well, you can always find me at lightworkerpath.com or angelstalk.com.
And I'll make sure to put those links in this post here. Also, make sure to read the book. The paperback is currently available. I think you have some books right there, don't you, with you?
This one right
Yes.
here.
Yay, woohoo. The paperback is currently available. We're going to be doing a book club. So more to come on that. But really, I mean, there's nothing like holding a book in your hands. To me, that's how I love to read.
And let me tell you that I'm a clairsentient, and we are very tactile people. And the feel of this cover is a super, that's one of the things that stood out. Yes, the colors, but the texture on this, it's really kind of fun. Smooth,
yes, it
like
is.
satin.
It's so good. It's so delicious. So get your hands on the copy and keep your eyes posted about the book club, which is really going to be about opportunities to really delve into these different stories, but also for those who are joining to share in their own story. There is something so powerful and cathartic that happens when we can share our stories, both in written and verbal form. And it's really cathartic. And one of my missions has been creating opportunities and invitations for more people to share their personal story, because I feel like that's how a big part of our healing is going to happen, both individually and for the collective. So, so keep an eye out for that. But sorry, I didn't mean to. And I will get your link. So go ahead and share about your what you're excited about to be working on, and I will absolutely link up to how people can connect with you.
Sure. I did want to also mention that I have two businesses. One is the spiritual, and the other is the digital marketing agency that I love to work with spiritual entrepreneurs in building websites and helping them get seen, because it really feels good to get more people seen out there. So if anybody's out there that's interested, you can contact me for that as well.
Yeah. And so is that the same website, or do you have a different way to connect with you around that?
That would be websitemarketerpro.com.
Okay, send me that link and I'll make sure to add it here in the description. And yeah, so for any spiritual entrepreneurs who wants to work with someone who really understands the energetics, I mean, super valuable also to have.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, and there's so much alignment that can happen when you work with people who understand, if you know what I mean, the energetics and the approach that a lot of like purpose-driven spiritual type entrepreneurs
definitely.
Yeah.
So some of the things I'm excited about is I'm working on an angel book that we spoke about.
Yes.
I'm getting my chapters down out of here into there. And I'm kind of putting together a mastermind program. So that's kind of exciting.
Oh, fun stuff. And then just in addition, Jamie works individually, right? In solo sessions, I believe, and maybe some group programs. So if you're one of those people who are, kind of teetering curious, or along the way somewhere, I know something that keeps coming up in these conversations is the fact that life is a progression and we are always evolving, and you'll evolve, but then a lot of times finding some support or someone to help kind of hold space for you or help move you into that next level is so beneficial.
Yeah. There's always new levels, as like in the heart chakra, we have like, I kind of relate it to like the onion, you're peeling off and healing a level. And then, but the same with spiritual progression as well. You get up here, but if you're interested, you can go higher and do things like that. So intuitive development, private courses, one-on-one classes, healing sessions, Reiki attunements, all kinds of stuff on the
Amazing.
website.
Check out Jamie. Get your hands on a copy of this book. If you're interested in joining the book club, reach out to me or Jamie or one of the other contributors. Drop a comment here and I'll make sure to get you connected when that container opens up. It's certain to be a powerful one. But other than that, say hello, ask Jamie any questions, ask me any questions. We'll make sure to circle back around.
I'm friendly.
Yes. Very friendly. So say hello, and thank you for anyone who has joined us. And that's all we have for today. So take care.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.